Welcome to Grandpa Hill's True Stories. I'm sitting here with my wife, Mary Lee, Grandma Hill, and my grandson, David. And I'm going to tell a very interesting story about something that Grandma did for me. It was very kind of her, but very hard on me. And it affected our entire lives in ways that we really don't even understand how big of an effect it was. And this was like a money effect. What Grandma Hill did, let me get the year, it'd be like 1988? Close. 1988. I think it was in 1988 that this happened. It might have been 87, but I think it was 88. So anyways, back in 1988, Grandma, Mary Lee, taught me how to buy a car. And I'm a really good car buyer, but I would have never become a good car buyer if she hadn't done what she did. Because I would buy cars and sometimes they'd turn out okay, sometimes they weren't okay, sometimes I'd pay too much. They'd have an asking price, I'd pay the asking price. I wouldn't argue, I wouldn't dicker with them about the price and all the rest of that. And I wasn't going to start. And I wasn't going to have Mary buy the cars either. Grandma wasn't going to be buying cars. But this is what happened. I came home from work and I told her that I wanted to buy a car. And I knew all about the car and it was in good shape. It was a brown station wagon, Chevy wagon. It was so good, even the nuts on the wheel lugs had grease on them. There was no problem. The tires were good. The engine's good. Everything's fine. And he wanted $3,000 for that used car. And it didn't have a lot of miles, maybe 50,000, 40,000, something like that. He's like an executive, and this is his family car, and he's now driving a fancier car. So I'm going to get this station wagon. And I says to Mary, what do you think? And he said, sure, we can get a car, but you can't pay that much. What do you mean that much? I'm not going to argue with him. But then I took the challenge. I said, well, how much should I pay? And she said, $1,600. Where'd you get that? Well, that's what I think that you should pay. I mean, that's more in line with the money we have, too. So it's the right thing to do. Okay, but if I tell him $1,600, I'm not going to get the car. That's like half of what he's asking.
Yeah.
And it's not a negotiation either. It says, because you said you don't want to negotiate, just tell him the price. That's the price. That's what you can pay. I said, honey, I tell him that. He's like the executive at work. He's just going to laugh. Plus, he's going to think less of me and stuff like that. And so I went in and I said, I don't remember his name, but, we'll just call him Joe. I said, Joe, this is what I can pay. He's quiet. And then he starts laughing. And he says, he's like, yeah, he did laugh. Not like to make fun of me, but like, that's ridiculous. That's a good car. I know a good car. And I said, I know, but that's how my wife let me pay for it. It was so hard to say that because that is what the truth was. That was our agreement. She says, yeah, I'm sticking to the agreement I made with Grandma. And, I went home and I told her what happened. She said, that's okay. We'll find another car. It'll happen. We don't need a car right now, even though that's a nice car for the family. It'd be definitely dependable and all that. Like 6 weeks later, the owner of that car says, you still want the car? I said, yeah, but I only can pay $1,600. He says, it's yours. And I bought the car for $1,600.
Told you so.
Yeah. And boy, I learned a lesson. And from then on, I still will debate the price of a car a little bit, but almost all the time, I have it figured out what I'm going to pay. Now, we didn't do that right away. There were like 2 or 3 more cars where she kind of help set the price. But after that, I know what to pay. This is the price. I wasn't reviewing it with her anymore. And boy, we started getting really good deals on cars. And they lasted just fine. And we've developed a car buying formula. I really got into it. But in the beginning, I was miserable. Well, miserable compared to now. Maybe I was ordinary, but I wasn't nearly as astute as what Grandma was. And she didn't even, she just, I mean, I don't even know if it's a skill, but that's what she said, and that's what we did. So that's how you taught me to buy cars. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.